So you're sipping your drink, and suddenly you notice something weird. Your ice cubes are getting bigger. Like, literally. How does that even happen? Is it magic? Or is it just the universe being weird? You're like, wait, is it the ice cubes or the drink that's changing? And then you realize, it's not the ice cubes growing, it's the water shrinking. How? And why? It's like watching a snowball in a hot tub, but with cubes. It's not like the ice cubes are magically absorbing the water. They're just sitting there, doing their thing. But somehow, the water is disappearing, like it's being sucked into the cube. It's like the cube is a vacuum cleaner for cold. But here's the kicker. Ice cubes don't grow on their own. They're just sitting there, and the water is shrinking around them. It's like the cube is slowly stealing the water's energy, and the water is giving in. It's a cold, sneaky kind of theft. So next time you see your ice cubes getting bigger, don't panic. It's just the water doing what it does best, getting cold, shrinking, and giving up its space to the cube. It's like a slow, chilly dance. But hey, if you want to know the full story, and I mean the whole messy, scientifically accurate story, stick around, because this is just the beginning of the cold, hard truth. So what exactly are we talking about? Like, are we talking about ice cubes growing like mushrooms in a glass? Or is it like a magical ice cube spa? I mean, who doesn't want their ice to get a little extra chill? We're talking about ice cubes getting bigger in a glass of water, but not in the way you'd expect. It's not like they're going to a gym or anything. It's more like they're doing a slow motion dance with the water molecules. So, basically, the ice cube is absorbing heat from the water, and that causes the water to freeze around it. Oh wait, isn't ice already frozen? So why is it getting bigger? That's the real question. Like, are we in a frozen reality show? The real deal is that the ice cube is melting in some parts and freezing in others. It's like a slow motion freeze tag game where some parts of the ice cube are tagged and some aren't. The water is playing freeze tag with the ice cube, and the ice cube is winning. So what we're really talking about is the physics of freezing in a glass. It's not magic, it's not a spa, it's just the water and ice doing the thing. But let's be real, it's kind of like a slow, cold, slightly weird dance party. You might think this is just a weird thing your ice cubes do, but trust me, it's a gateway to understanding how water behaves in weird places. It's like the universe is giving you a little ice cube science lesson without you even asking. Imagine if your ice cubes had a secret life, like they are training for a freezing Olympics. They're not just sitting there, they're busy working out how to grow, one molecule at a time. And here's the kicker. If you don't care about this, you're basically ignoring how your drinks stay cold. That's like not caring about gravity because you're not falling through the floor. You're still affected, you know. This stuff is everywhere, but it's hidden in plain sight. Your fridge, your coffee, even your bathroom sink all have their own little ice cube parties going on. You just didn't know it. So yeah, you should secretly care about this. It's not just about ice cubes, it's about how the world works, and how cool it is that we can even notice things like this. Plus, it's kind of fun to think about. Okay, let's fast forward to the 1950s. Ice cubes were just getting fancy, like the new kid at school. People started putting them in drinks to look cool, and suddenly ice became a status symbol. It's like the ice cube was the first Instagram filter of its time. Then came the 1970s, and suddenly ice cubes were everywhere. You'd see them in restaurants, in movies, even in your mom's coffee. It's like the ice cube got a personality, and now it's the star of the show. By the 1980s, ice cubes had their own culture. You could get them in different shapes, like tiny cubes and big blocks. It was like the ice cube had a designer label, and now you had to know what kind of ice you were using. The 1990s brought the ice cube to your kitchen. You could make your own, freeze it in molds, and even put fruit in it. It's like the ice cube became your personal chef, making frozen treats for you. And now, in 2024, ice cubes are like the original gel. You can find them in fancy bars, in your fridge, and even in your phone. It's like the ice cube is the OG of frozen fun, and it's still going strong. Okay, so imagine your ice cube is like a baby, and the glass is its crib. The baby wants to grow, so it starts to suck on the cold stuff in the water. But wait, it can't just suck, it has to freeze, like turning into a solid baby. That's how it gets bigger, baby. But here's the twist. The ice cube doesn't grow by eating the water. It grows by making the water around it freeze too. So it's like the ice cube is tricking the water into joining its party. The water says, okay, I'm in, but I'm going to be a solid too. So the ice cube grows by making more ice, not by eating the water. It's kind of like when you make a snowman, each layer you add is more snow, not less. The ice cube is just really good at convincing the water to join its icy club. But here's the kicker. The ice cube can only grow if the glass is cold enough. If the glass is warm, the ice cube might melt or just hang out doing nothing. So it's like trying to grow a baby in a warm room. Maybe it's just too hot for the baby to chill. So in the end, the ice cube grows by making more ice, not by eating the water. It's like a party where everyone has to freeze to join. And if the glass isn't cold enough, the party's over and the ice cube goes home. So you're chilling with a glass of water, right? You drop an ice cube in there and suddenly it's like a frozen party. But wait, why is the ice cube growing? Is it magic? No, it's just science with a side of chill. First things first, the ice cube has to be in the water. If it's just sitting on the table, it's not gonna grow. You gotta put it in the glass, like putting a turtle in a pond. It's not a metaphor, it's a fact. Now, the ice cube is cold, and the water is at room temperature. Cold things want to get warmer, and warm things want to get colder. So the ice cube is like, hey, I want to be warmer, so I'll melt a little. But here's the twist. When the ice cube melts, it becomes water. That water is now in the glass, and if the glass is cold, it might freeze again. So it's like a frozen water roller coaster. 1 minute it's solid, next minute it's liquid. So, the ice cube isn't really growing. It's just changing forms. Like when you take a chocolate bar and melt it, it's still the same amount of chocolate. It's just more spread out. But hey, if it's in a glass, it's got a place to spread out. Okay, so the ice cube starts off as water, right? But how does it actually get bigger? Well, the glass is cold, so the water on the outside starts to freeze. Imagine your ice cube is like a superhero, and the glass is its secret base. The water on the outside is like the hero's sidekick, helping it grow by freezing around the edges. Now, as more water freezes, it pushes the ice cube outwards. It's kind of like when you freeze a marshmallow in a cup and it grows like a weird, frozen flower. The ice cube isn't just melting, it's expanding, like it's stretching its arms to get bigger. But wait, the ice cube doesn't just grow by itself. It's kind of like a competition between the ice and the water. The water is trying to stay liquid, but the cold glass is like a boss telling it, nope, you're freezing. So the water gives up and joins the ice party. As the ice cube grows, it pushes the water away. It's like when you freeze a soda can and it gets all swollen. The ice is basically saying, I'm taking up space and I'm not going back. So the water has to move out of the way or get stuck inside the ice. And there you have it, ice cubes grow by freezing from the outside in. It's like when you're trying to get bigger by just standing still, but in this case, it's the water that's doing the work. So next time you see an ice cube, you can impress your friends by telling them it's actually a frozen party planner. So here's the twist: when the glass is full, the ice cube has nowhere to go. But wait, the ice cube isn't just sitting there, it's actually growing in the glass like a weird, frozen tree. The water is still moving, but now it's going up, not down. This is called supercooling, where the water gets colder than freezing but doesn't turn to ice. It's like when you freeze a popsicle, but the juice doesn't freeze until you poke it. Once the water hits the ice cube, it starts to freeze. It's like when you put a snowball in your hand and it gets colder as it melts into your skin. But this time, it's the ice cube getting colder and growing. Quick word from our sponsor. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, take a look at the Fire TV Stick 4K streaming device. There's a link and a QR code on screen right now, and in the description below. Alright, back to it. The ice cube keeps growing because the water is still moving up, and the cold is spreading like a slow, frozen wave. It's like if you had a lava lamp, but instead of lava, it's ice and water. And there you have it, ice cubes growing in a glass, like magic. But it's just physics being extra weird. Next time you make a drink, remember, ice is basically a frozen party that never ends. So here's the real magic. It's not about the ice cube itself, it's about the water around it. Water molecules are like shy particles. They want to hang out with other water molecules, but they can't unless they're in the same place. When you put ice in a glass, the water in the glass is basically saying, hey, I want to be like you, ice cube. I want to be cold and solid too. And it's like, okay, but you have to wait your turn. That push comes from the coldness of the ice cube. The ice is like a chill friend who says, hey, you're not as cold as me. Let's be even colder together. And that's how the water starts to freeze. So the ice cube isn't really growing. It's more like the water in the glass is getting jealous and trying to join the ice club. But it has to wait until the temperature is just right. Like when you're trying to get a snack from the fridge but it's still locked. In the end, it's just water molecules hanging out together, getting cold, and forming a solid. It's like when you and your friends decide to build a snowman. You all just want to be part of the same group. Okay? So if you're wondering how ice cubes grow in a glass, imagine you're a tiny snowman who just got a little taller. You're made of water, and you're standing in a glass full of your liquid friends. You're not melting, you're growing, because the glass is cold, and you're the kind of snowman who likes to chill out and get bigger. Now, here's the funny part. You're not actually growing, you're just getting colder. The water molecules in your body slow down, and they start to stick together like a group of sleepy kids in a classroom. They form little clusters, and before you know it, you're a full-blown ice cube standing tall in your glass. This is kind of like when you're trying to stay awake during a boring lecture, but instead of nodding off, you're just turning into a solid block of silence. The water molecules are doing the same thing, just way slower and with more style. So, the ice cube isn't magically expanding. It's just the water molecules teaming up and doing their thing. It's like a group project where everyone shows up late, but they all end up making a really good final product. And if you're still confused, just think about how you get bigger when you're in the fridge. If you were a water molecule, you'd be the kind of person who loves to grow and stay cool. It's a win-win for you and your ice cube friends. Okay, so you're like, wait, how does ice grow in a glass? And I'm like, oh, it's not like a plant, it's more like a slow-motion snowstorm. The ice isn't just sitting there, it's actually working hard like a tiny ice worker, building up layer by layer. And guess what? The water is actually helping it out, like a friend giving it a hand by freezing from the outside in. So it's not like a plant growing up, it's more like a snowman being built from the top down by the cold. And if you think about it, it's kind of like a tiny, frozen version of building a house one brick at a time, but with ice. Okay, so you think ice cubes grow in a glass by magic? Nah, that's not how it works. It's more like they're just taking a little vacation from the water. The real deal is called freezing, and it's basically the water saying, I'm done being liquid, I'm going to be solid and stay put. So you're not seeing growth, you're seeing the water finally getting the memo that it's time to turn into ice. So next time you see ice in a glass, just imagine the water taking a break from being liquid. It's like a spa day, but colder. Okay, so the second myth is that ice cubes grow by magic. But let me tell you, that's not how it works. You can't just wave a wand and suddenly have bigger ice cubes. The real reason ice cubes grow is because they're in contact with the glass. The glass is cold, so it makes the water freeze faster on the sides. It's like when you stick your hand in the freezer, but with water. You might think the ice cube is getting bigger, but it's actually the water around it freezing and solidifying. It's like when you put a cup of water in the freezer and the whole thing turned into ice. Not magic, just science. So if you want bigger ice cubes, just put them in the freezer longer. Don't try to make them grow with magic. They'll just get colder and harder. Science wins again. Hey, ever notice how your ice cube grows like it's on a diet? No, it's not dieting, it's just hanging out with your soda. The cold air from the glass is like a chill friend, and it's helping the ice cube get bigger. This isn't just in your soda glass. Ever seen a frozen window or a frosty car windshield? That's the same trick. The cold air meets the warm surface and makes ice grow like a shy kid at a party. And here's the kicker, your fridge door. When you open it, the warm air hits the cold inside and makes ice grow on the shelves. It's like your fridge is doing a slow-motion ice dance. Even your bathroom mirror can do this. When you run cold water, the air around the mirror cools down and makes ice grow. It's like your mirror is trying to play hide and seek with you. So next time you see an ice cube growing, remember it's not magic. It's just the cold air and warm surfaces doing their thing, like a slow, cold, and slightly awkward dance. So imagine you're at a party and someone slams a glass of water on the table. You look at it, you see ice cubes, and you're like, wait, how does this even work? You're like, how do these ice cubes just grow? They're not in a freezer, they're in a glass. What's the deal? Are they magic, or are they just really good at staying frozen? Turns out, it's not magic, it's just physics. The ice cubes are sitting in water, and since ice is less dense than water, they float. But the real trick is that the water is cold enough to keep the ice from melting. But here's the kicker, the wire in the glass is actually colder than the ice cubes. That means the ice is still losing heat to the water, but not enough to melt. So it's like a cold battle, and the ice is winning. So the ice cubes are like little frozen warriors, staying put in their glass fortress, while the water tries to take them down. And if the water gets too hot, the ice will finally surrender and melt. Okay, so ice cubes can grow so big, they're basically like a frozen pizza in a glass. It's like the ice cube got a growth spurt and decided to be a superhero. But now, the secret is super cooling. It's like when you put a hot dog in the freezer and it gets so cold it starts to cry. But with water, it's even more dramatic. When the water finally freezes, it's like a party in a glass. The ice cube starts to grow like it's eating the glass and the air around it. It's like a food fight, but with ice and water. The more water there is, the bigger the ice cube can get. It's like a sponge, but for ice. It soaks up the water and then turns into a frozen fortress. So next time you see a giant ice cube, remember it's just a frozen water sponge that got too excited and decided to grow. And now it's a frozen pizza in your glass. Okay, so you're chilling with your ice cubes, thinking they're just sitting there, minding their own business. But then boom, something goes wrong. Maybe the glass is too full, or the ice is too hungry. Either way, you're in for a frosty surprise. The ice starts to crack, like a bad joke that's been told too many times. It's not just melting, it's breaking. And suddenly you're not just having ice, you're having a mess. Now the ice is everywhere, like a tiny avalanche of frozen chaos. You're trying to drink your coffee, but it's like wading through a glacier. You're not just drinking coffee, you're surviving a blizzard. And then the worst part, your ice is now a puddle of slush. It's like your frozen friends have decided to melt into a puddle of disappointment. You're not just drinking coffee, you're drinking liquid regret. So yeah, ice cubes can grow, but only if you let them. And if you don't watch them, they might just turn into a disaster. But hey, at least you learned something. And that's something to be thankful for. So yeah, ice cubes grow by stealing heat. But here's the catch, your glass is already cold. So the ice is like, thanks for the cold, but I'm not gonna grow here. It's like trying to grow a plant in a freezer. You're giving it the perfect conditions, but it's like, I'm not a plant, I'm a cube. The ice wants to grow, but it needs a warm environment. Your glass is just too chill to be a good party for ice growth. So if you want ice to grow, you need to give it something to steal heat from, like a warm hand, or a hot drink, or a friend who's been sitting in the sun. Quick word from our sponsor. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, take a look at the Apple AirPods 2nd generation. There's a link and a QR code on screen right now, and in the description below. Alright, back to it. In the end, ice cubes grow and they can take heat from somewhere. But if you put them in a cold glass, they're just gonna stay cubes and probably feel lonely. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching.